Hi, my name is Adera. I am a brand ambassador for Hello Heritage and a social media manager for Budweiser Tanzania, and South Africa is my home for the past 20 years. So I'm here to talk about my breast cancer journey as well as raise awareness for breast cancer. I was actually at work and I was in the female bathrooms, and I literally saw a sign at the back of the door that literally had from Cancer SA that says, breast cancer, please just check your breast, do a self check. And yeah, it was 2 weeks prior. And then something, was it 2 weeks after, I was taking a shower, and that moment or that memory just came into my head. And I just said, okay, let me just do a self examination. And then, boom, that's how I felt my lump. So I decided to go to my general practitioner, and she was just like, okay, you know what? Let's do a few tests and see what it is. It might be a benign lump, and you're quite young, but let's just check it out, just to make sure that all is well. And in my head, my spirit and something just told me, I just had this uneasiness. And obviously, they're like, we need to go and do a biopsy. And, the first thing that they asked me, well, does anybody in your family have breast cancer? And I'm like, no, not that I know of. Do you have any family history? And I'm like, no family history. So, cut the long story short, I went and got my test results. And I kind of knew, when I got the call that we need you to come into the office, that I was like, this is not good news. So I went there, and my GP is like, unfortunately, you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was like, what? Am I hearing this correctly? Are you like playing a prank on me? Are you sure the results are right? And she's like, unfortunately, that's your case. So when she told me that, I literally felt my heart like get out of my chest, literally. And I was in shock, and then I just started crying, and I called my mom at the time, and she was at work, and she drove to the doctor's office, and I was like, okay, am I going to die? Like, that's what I thought. I'm like, cancer, that's it, I probably have 6 months to live. And the doctor is like, just let's do this one step at a time. From what we see, we think it's stage 0 and 1, but we still need to do further tests. So when that happened, I literally got into survival mode. And when somebody asks me, how do you describe what survival mode is literally just going from the next doctor's appointment to the next. You don't even have time to process anything. You don't even have time to just, sit back and take the news. It's just like, let's just get into operation mode. Let's just start treatment. Let's do what we need to do. And that's literally what happened in my case. I was told, okay, you need to do chemo. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And they're like, after chemo, you need to do radiation. And then after radiation, you need to go on hormonal therapy. So I was just like, okay, chemo, that's fine. I'm going to lose my hair. And they're like, yeah, you lose your hair, you're going to lose your lashes, you're going to lose everything, your fingernails and all that. So, I never really had a strong relationship with my hair, in the sense that I'm one of those people that just experiments. Like, one day I'll just decide I can cut my hair. So I was just like, okay, I've been bald before, so it's not the end of the world. But I think this time it's that I wasn't allowed to make that decision. There was no option, So my hair fell off, and that was hard. But I decided that I'm not going to wait for it to fall off. I'm literally going to take charge of my hair, my heritage, if I could put it like that, and take charge of it. And that meant cutting my hair myself. So I did that, and during that time, because of chemo and the side effects of chemo, my scalp would get very dry. And and it's just coincidental that being part of the Hello Heritage family, and being a brand ambassador for it, the products really came at the right time, because it with chemo, your team or your team of doctors advise you that you need to use products that are very gentle, that are paraben free, that let me just put the word natural or less synthetic. And Hello Heritage, especially the hair serum, literally ticked the mark. And because of your scalp being so sensitive, and when people tell me, what do you mean, your scalp being sensitive? It's like literally having pin and needles on your head, where even touching your scalp, it feels quite sore. So when I use the Hello Heritage products, I mean, they were just amazing, because my scalp would literally feel like it's flaking. And the serum just quelled that, and it made the journey not much easier, but more tolerable, and it made it okay. And after that whole experience of going through chemo, I realized that support is very important. I think, sometimes you feel like you're on this journey on your own, but that's not necessarily the case, because for you to kind of heal, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you need support, and you need family support. And that's something that I think having cancer at a very young age has taught me, or I've got to experience, is that, family support, going to a psychologist, that has really helped, and that has helped me get to this stage of my life, So with breast cancer, or with anybody that's going through cancer, the journey is like the 5 stages of grief, but you realize that, through that process, support is everything, family support is everything. But then also, I think with breast cancer, what makes it even tougher is that it changes your view on how you view yourself as a woman, your self-identity, your sexuality, and your femininity. For a lot of women, the hair and the heritage, I always say it's your heritage, and it's a play on the words, is that it symbolizes a lot of things. And when I lost my hair, I felt like I lost a piece of me. And, for a lot of women, it's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around that, because you're like, cancer is taking so much from me. Breast cancer takes so much from you. And, you lose your hair, but then there's another aspect to it of losing your breast, and the invasive nature of, the surgery that one does. I don't think anybody can prepare you for that. But, at the same time, when I was told that I needed to do a mastectomy, I said, okay, it's more about saving my life. But at the end of the day, I still have a breast, and luckily my team of doctors managed to put an implant. So I got out of surgery, and I still felt that, okay. And I know, for a lot of women, well, part of our identity is our breasts, and you feel like it's an amputation on your body, but it's more about, getting into survival mode and saving your life. And for that, you don't really have a choice. It's taken away from you. But, I always say, through all that, you literally come out the other side. There are moments where you're going to feel like this, when you're going to have a breakdown, like you're going to shed tears like I'm doing right now. But here I am. I'm still standing. I'm still modeling. I'm still doing my 9 to 5, as a social media manager and community manager for Budweiser. So it's not the end and be all. Going through breast cancer and, going through the treatments, you do feel alone. I'm not going to lie, you feel scared, you feel angry. I mean, there were times where I just felt like I couldn't get out of bed, and, chemo was just taking the light and life out of me. But, on the other side, you have support. And when I talk about support, I mean support in all aspects, family support, people taking you to appointments and, being there with you and holding your hand, literally holding your hand. There are days where you literally can't pick yourself up, and it's your family that picks you up and gives you the energy to even go and have a shower, because that's how crap you feel after chemo. So, you think that I'm not going to survive this, I do not deserve this. You think, there are times I'm like, did God punish me for something? Is it something that I did, something that I do? Maybe it's something that I ate, or, did I drink? Your head, there's so many why. But, you come out the other side. And when you come out the other side is me standing here and having this conversation, with you. I'm standing here and I'm telling you that it is possible to go through that. And you can still stand strong, You can still be here. You can still be a woman. It doesn't take that away from you. And it's unfortunately, or I would say fortunately, I've become a different person. And I think anybody who's gone through cancer becomes a different person. You review the world differently. You view relationships differently, And unfortunately, sometimes cancer can be very isolating in the sense that people around you don't know how to handle it. Your caregivers, because they are going through the most, they want to be there for you, but then you have your moments where you snap at them and they don't know what to tell you. And I think also part of it, and for a lot of caregivers out there and people who are standing by you. And when I say caregivers, I don't mean your mom and dad. I mean, it's your mom, your dad, your sister. For me, it was my family. It was my Hello Heritage family, It's my friends. They were literally, by my side, and they were motivating me, and telling me that I will make it and I will survive. And I'm here to tell you that early detection saves lives. And it's because I felt something, in my breast, and I went to the doctors, and they gave me a diagnosis, and I'm fortunate enough with my prognosis. I have a 100% survival rate, within the next 5 to 10 years. And I would just say, ladies, don't be shy, and especially for my African sisters, we think that we have to be strong, and we don't have to be strong. I think this narrative of being a strong Black independent woman, or strong African woman, or strong Caucasian woman, or Indian woman, it's not that. Part of having strength is leaning on others. I'll always say, for anybody who's going through breast cancer, or any type of cancer, it is hard, and you will feel all the emotions that one can feel, but I'm still standing here, and part of that journey is coming to terms with it and accepting it and navigating to it, because it's never ending. You always have scan anxiety where you have to go for your checkups, and you always feel nervous because you worry, is it going to come back? But I always say, with anything and with life, you can't live your life like that. You can't live thinking, well, if this is going to come back, it's the end. You have to be in the moment and live your life the best way you can, and live in your truth. Yeah.